We are going to discuss some UPSC solved questions on Indian geography. First question is, describe the characteristics and type of primary rocks. Now look at this diagram quickly. We know rocks are sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. These three types mainly. So sedimentary, we have classic, chemical, and biologic. In classic, we have different types like sandstone, siltstone, mudstone, shale, and then conglomerate, breccia. Then in chemical, we have limestone, dolostone, evaporites. Then biologic, we have coal, chert. So these are the three different types of sedimentary. Ultimately, what we have got that chemical, classic, plastic, and biologic are the three types of sedimentary, with those rock which are formed from the sediments, right? So chemically, it's very clear that limestone, that is a chemical nature, then biologic, and what type of form, that is coal, chert, then plastic, like whether it may be sandstone or siltstone or mudstone, like that. Then igneous. Igneous is also known as primary rocks, we know that. So they are of two types mainly, intrusive and extrusive. In intrusive, we have gabbro, diorite, then granodiorite, and granite. Just remember gabbro and granite for intrusive, and for extrusive, we all know about extrusive rock, that is they are basalt, andesite, dacite, and rhyolite. Then metamorphic may be either foliated or non-foliated. In foliated, we have like genesis, and in non-foliated, we have like marble, quartzite. Yes. So these are the main classification. Now let's come to the main question answer, that what is the characteristics and type of primary rock? Now, these primary rocks are the rocks that directly form what? Solidification of magma or lava. We know that, yes or no? The primary rocks বিলাক কেনেকে form হয়? যেতিয়া molten magma বিলাক solidify হয়, মানে টান হৈ যায়, solid form হয়, সেই molten magma কে আমি lava বুলিও কওঁ, right? Then সেই solidificationৰ পৰাই the primary rocks form হয়, yes. So they are also known as igneous rock. As the primary rocks are directly from the solidification of molten magma or lava, they are also known as igneous rock. Now, what are the characteristics? The characteristics of primary rocks depend on the composition of that magma or lava from which they are formed. Yes or no? কাৰণ যিবিলাক লাভাৰ পৰা ফৰ্ম হৈছে, যিবিলাক মেগমাৰ পৰা ফৰ্ম হৈছে, সেইবিলাকৰ characteristics তাহাঁতৰ ওচৰত আহিব, as well as the condition under which they are solidified, যি কণ্ডিশ্যন তেওঁলোক মানে সেইবিলাক solidify হৈছিল. So primary rocks are those that form directly from the solidification of magma lava. So they are classified directly from the basis of the characteristics of the magma or the solidification process. Now, these primary rocks, we divide it into igneous rocks and metamorphic rocks. But remember, many authors actually considered igneous rock as primary rocks, because metamorphic rock is nothing but just a subsequent stage of igneous rock. So igneous rocks are formed when molten magma cools and solidifies either below or above the earth's surface. To the condition that molten magma cools and solidifies either on or below or above the earth's surface. If the magma cools slowly and a great depth, it becomes a coarse grained rock. They are known as plutonic rock. So if that magma cools slowly and at a very great depth, then it becomes a coarse grained rock. coarse grain rock, and that rock is known as plutonic rock. So plutonic rock to kihor type hoy amar igneous rock type hoy jetia he magma bilak lahe lahe thanda hoy ar bahut depthot tetia he coarse grain jitu rock form hoy tak ami ko plutonic rock. So plutonic rock, igneous rock. Now example jodi ami dibole jao granite, gabbro, you got it na, they are intrusive rocks. Intrusive rock to ke ami plutonic buli koisu hekini ama kihot ahise granite, gabbro ei bilak hoise tomar plutonic type. Then if magma cools quickly at the surface uporote mane duta condition asile na, igneous rock either tomar surface ba surface below tuk ami plutonic buli kolu, intrusive buli kolu, or it took extrusive বুলি কম if the magma cools quickly at the surface and it becomes a fine grained rock, then that is called as volcanic rock. Like you have basalt rock. Okay, so here also we have given the example of extrusive or this basalt. So we got it, the two type of this igneous. Now this metamorphic rock, they are formed when pre-existing rocks are subjected to extreme heat and pressure and causing them to change in composition and structure. These rocks can further be divided into two categories, either foliated metamorphic, which have a layered or banded appearance, and non-foliated metamorphic, which do not have a layered appearance. So, মই যে কৈছিলো প্ৰাইমেৰী ৰক বুলিলে আমি igneous rockকে বুজো, কাৰণ igneous rockৰে subsequent stage to আহি যায়গে when these pre-existing rocks are subjected to extreme heat and pressure, then they form this metamorphic rock, because they the change in composition and structure implies a new form of rock, and that is metamorphic rock. If layer exists or that the appearance is layered wise, then that is kind of foliated metamorphic rock. But if their layers does not exist, that layered appearance do not form as a part of that metamorphic rock, then that becomes only non-foliated metamorphic rock. Now, examples of foliated metamorphic rocks are like slate, gneiss, while non-foliated metamorphic rock, marble, quartzite. Here, see, in the diagram also we have given this example, foliated jar layer ase, tak genesis to ami kobo paru teneke non foliated jar rare nai marble. So ami discuss korilu je ei je igneous rock tak ami primary rock buli koisu karon tar parai lastot goi pelai metamorphic rock form hoise. Primary rock mane igneous rock ei molten tomar lava, they are formed from the molten lava or molten magma. Yes, so the characteristics of the magma decides the characteristics of the igneous rock. If they are formed on the surface, they are known as what? Extrusive, like basalt, andesite, dacite. And if they are formed slowly, and means slowly by cooling and inside a great depth, then that is intrusive rock, as for example gabbro, granite. Now it is igneous rocks under different extreme pressure conditions and temperature change, they change into different forms of rock, that is known as metamorphic rock, which may be either layered structure, that is foliated, or non-layered structure, non-foliated. Foliated example gneiss, non-foliated marble and quartzite. In summary, primary rocks are formed directly from the solidification of magma or lava, can be divided into two main categories: igneous and metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks are formed from the cooling of magma, while metamorphic rocks are formed from the transformation of pre-existing rocks under extreme heat and pressure. So let's come to the next question. Discuss the meaning of color-coded weather warnings for cyclone-prone areas given by Indian Meteorological Department. So color-coded weather warnings for cyclone-prone areas Indian Meteorological Department দিয়া গৈ কোড বিলাক ইয়াৰ পৰা ফিগাৰখন চাওক গ্ৰীণ থাকিলে no severe weather, yellow means be aware, orange color be prepared, red means it is means serious, take action. So Indian Meteorological Department issues colored coded weather warnings to inform the public about the severity of an impending cyclone in the cyclone prone areas. Kiman severity hobo pare eta ahi thoka cyclone or cyclone prone areas. The warnings are issued based on the expected wind speed and the potential impact on the region. So what are the parameters? Wind speed and potential impact. Then the following 4 categories of color coded weather warnings. First, green. This is the least severe category of warning, indicating that the cyclone is unlikely to cause any significant damage or disruption. Yellow, this category of warning indicates that the cyclone is expected to cause some disruption, such as strong wind and heavy rainfall. The public is advised to be vigilant and take necessary precautions. So precaution is concerned with yellow. Then orange means this is a more severe category of warning, indicating that the cyclone is likely to cause significant damage and disruption. So the public is advised to take necessary precaution and be prepared to evacuate if necessary. So in yellow, it is not said that they need to be evacuated. They need to be prepared for the evacuation process. But in orange, which is comparatively more severe than yellow, public already been advised to get prepared for the evacuation also if necessary. Then red means this is the most severe category of warning, indicating that the cyclone is expected to cause widespread damage and disruption. So the public is advised to take immediate action to protect themselves and evacuate if necessary. This is the most severe category. So overall, the color coded weather warnings issued by the IMD are designed to inform the public about the severity of an impending cyclone in a cyclone-prone area and provide guidelines on how to protect themselves and their property. So question was asked in UPSC 2022. যদি আপোনালোকে গম পায় চাৰিটা কালাৰ যেনে গ্ৰীণ yellow orange and red, then the question is simple. The next question, what is ozone layer depletion? Evaluate the efforts being made to protect the ozone layer. So ozone, O3, is a protective layer in the atmosphere of the earth. It is found in the lower portion of the stratosphere. So ozone layer acts as a shield to protect the earth against the harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Ozone is regarded harmful at ground level, but stratospheric ozone plays a vital role in the protection of all living beings on Earth. So lower level of thake, but e protect kore ki hok Earth hok from the harmful ultraviolet radiation or pora. Kintu ground level hok yak ami harmful ozone hok harmful boli dhori lo, kintu stratospheric ozone plays a vital role in the protection of all living beings on Earth. Now, ozone layer depletion. The ozone layer depletion was first identified to be a potential problem in the early 1970s. It is a gradual thinning of Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere caused by the release of ozone depleting substances. So upper atmosphere thoka ozone layer is necessary for us, right? Now ozone layer depletion that has been found or identified in 1970s, early 1970s, that means the gradual thinning of that Earth's ozone layer in the upper atmosphere, and that was caused by release of ozone depleting substances. You can look at this diagram. I can make it bigger to have a good look on this. You can see this chlorofluorocarbon, hydrofluorocarbons. Then this is the ozone layer, right? Then this is protecting Earth from the ultraviolet radiation. But because of these chlorofluorocarbons and these things, some kind of means depletion is happening. Okay. Now, ozone layer depletion causes increased ultraviolet radiation level at the Earth's surface, which is damaging human health. Ultraviolet radiation also affects terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, altering the growth, food chains, and biochemical cycle. So, UV radiation affects the terrestrial as well as aquatic ecosystem also, not just the land, the means oceanic or that river ecosystem also, or any water body ecosystem also. So that will alter the growth, food chains, and biochemical cycles. So, what are the efforts to protect the ozone layer depletion? In 1985, countries adopted Vienna Convention for the protection of ozone layer. 1985 চনৰ in 1985 Vienna Convention. Now, according to the Vienna Convention of 1985, parties were to promote cooperation on the effects of human activities on the ozone layer and to adopt legislative and or administrative measures against activities likely to have adverse effect on the ozone layer. Then Montreal Protocol on ozone depleting substance in 1987. See, this Vienna Convention in 1985, then this Montreal Protocol in 1987. Montreal Protocol clearly directly focusing on ozone depleting substances. It is regarded as the greatest effort and environmental success of United Nations towards protecting the ozone layer. Which one? Montreal Protocol on ozone depleting substance in 1987. Then objective was to cut down the production and consumption of ozone depleting substances in order to reduce the presence in the atmosphere and thus protect the Earth's ozone layer. Then it was again, this Montreal Protocol of 1987 was again amended by Kigali Agreement, which came into force on 1st January 2019. And this is a legally binding agreement. That is, Kigali Agreement of 2019 is a legally binding agreement between the signatory parties with non-compliance measures. It has divided the signatory parties into three groups. First group consists of rich and developed economies like USA, UK, EU countries, European countries, which will start to phase down HFC, hydrofluorocarbon, by 2019 and reduce it to 15% by 15% of 2012 levels by 2036. So HFC production to HFC use hetu 2012 চনতকৈ 15% ডিক্ৰিজ কৰিবলৈ কোৱা হ'ল 2034 লৈকে কাক rich and developed economies like USA, UK, and EU. Then second group consisting of emerging economies like China, Brazil, as well as some African countries that will start phase down by 2024 and reduce it to 20% of 2021 level by 2045. 2024 চনৰ ভিতৰত অলপ কম কৰিব লাগিব আৰু 2045 চনৰ ভিতৰত 2021 চনৰ লেভেলতকৈ 20% কম কৰিব লাগিব কোনে some emerging countries like China, Brazil, and some African countries. And the third group consisting of developing nations, means developing economies, and some of the hottest climatic countries like India, Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia. They will start phasing down HFCs by 2028 and reduce it to 15% of 2024-2026 level by 2047. So India, Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, they need to reduce the level by 15% of 2024-26 level till 2047. So the Kigali agreement also provides for a multilateral fund for HFC reduction. So there will be a fund, multilateral fund for HFC reduction. Now let's conclude this answer by these lines. The recent detection of Rogu production of CaC11, one of the most powerful ozone depleting gases, is a reminder that we should be vigilant. The actions taken through Vienna Convention Montreal Protocol and the successive amendments to the protocols were planet-saving steps, but it is also important to be watchful and not undo the good that has been done to the ozone layer. So we have seen the production of CFC-11, that is a kind of rogue production that may again means fuel in the depletion process of ozone. So we should be remembered that we should be more vigilant towards this process, towards the action that are actually said in the Vienna Convention, Montreal, and the successful amendments to protect the ozone layer. Then only we can take some planet saving steps, but also important to be watchful and not undo the good that has been done to ozone layer. So this is about ozone layer depletion and ozone layer depletion related protocols. This question is also asked in UPSC examination. With this, I'm ending today's lecture on geography. Thank you.